wondering what type of support services will be available to students in the fall? Then keep watching. In the second video of our Start Strong series, you'll be connected with people on campus that are ready and eager to help your students. Hi, my name is Miguel Pulido, and you are watching Start Strong Family Forum. And joining me today are members of our Stanislaus State community ready to answer all of your questions. You probably never imagined that your student's first semester in college would be online. But we want you to know that there's a team of dedicated professionals ready to help your students thrive. And today, you'll meet a few of them. We gathered all of your questions through our Instagram page and through our website, but also feel free to drop your questions through the chat feature and we'll answer them live on air. If you need to see closed captions, there's also a link that you can click on to see closed captions along with this video. So let's go ahead and get started. Our first guest today is Tammy Giannini from the Academic Success Center.
Hi, as Miguel said, I am Tammy and I am the lead advisor in the Academic Success Center. Our office offers many support programs that students can use throughout their time in college. We're the home of undeclared and pre-nursing advising, but we also will help people with general education requirements, degree requirements, and anything else that they need during their time here at Stanislaus. We have a staff of trained advisors who can help students with anything that they really need. And we are open and offering appointments. We have since we all went virtual. And so we are offering our support and we want to partner with students and help them through their college career.
Thank you for that, Tammy. We did get some questions for you. The first one is, when do new students get to pick their classes and is there help to guide them in the right way?
Okay, so brand new students go through to new student orientation, and during the part of orientation is you meet with a faculty advisor in your major. You would meet with one of our advisors if you were pre-nursing or undeclared, and they help you choose your classes and do all of your class registration the day of your orientation.
Thank you for that answer. The next question is also for Tammy. A student is wondering, how would they go about double majoring? So the simple answer is it's a form that you fill out, but the more complicated answer, especially if you're coming in as a new student, you sort of have to pick one major to go with that day of new student orientation. What I would suggest is after new student orientation or before, if possible, meet with a faculty advisor in the other major so that you're fully prepared to make a well-rounded schedule that will work for both majors. There's a question regarding someone who feels concerned that they're looking through the class schedule and they're noticing that a lot of the sections are full. Do you have any insight with that, Tammy?
Well, this is the sort of end of our cycle. So a lot of classes would be full. The good news is that most classes have waiting lists and people do change their class schedules before school starts. So you have a very good shot at getting in. And also, depending on your major, you need certain classes. So not everyone is going to need the same class.
Okay. There is a question that came in from a transfer student for you, Tammy. And they're wondering, they're a transfer student and they want to switch their concentration. Their NSO hasn't passed yet. Now, could you help this student understand how to go about changing their concentration?
Yes, so you can actually change your concentration the day of, because the business department, I'm assuming that's the concentration, but any of the departments that have concentrations are well equipped to advise you appropriately based on what you choose that day.
Okay. And the final question for you, Tammy, is, can I get a faculty advisor even though I'm undeclared?
That's actually a really good question. If you're undeclared and you sort of know what you're interested in, it is never too early to develop a relationship with a faculty member in that department. So yes, you can. And we have in our office, we have faculty fellows that are from different areas on the campus. And so they're also somebody you can make an appointment with, and you could develop a relationship with one of them.
Thank you so much, Tammy. If anyone has any more questions for Tammy, feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll ask them at the end after everyone presents. So now we're going to go on to our next guest, Ms. Juanita Crutherd, who is joining us from the Student Support Services. Go ahead, Juanita.
Good evening. Glad you all could join us. As Miguel said, my name is Juanita, and I'm the director for the TRIO Student Support Services program at Stan State. And we are currently accepting applications for students to be able to come into our program. We take students who are first generation, low income backgrounds, as well as students with documented disabilities can qualify for our program regardless of their first gen or low income status. We do have to have students fill out an application, but we will help you navigate that process. And what does that mean as far as our program? So for students who come into our program, basically they get an easy to access support system that's going to be there for them, not only in their first semester, but as they continue through their academic program at Stan State. And we provide a lot of different services that help students to stay in good academic standing, to understand and to complete their academic requirements, and to make progress to degree. So what that looks like is we have dedicated advisors that students meet with to help develop their plans and make sure they're staying on track, to answer questions. We have peer mentors who are upper division students typically that have already been on campus for a while that can help give some of that peer-to-peer interaction, but making sure that you're getting good information that's reliable. We do have some program scholarships, so that's additional money that is just available to students in our program and who doesn't, need more help with paying for school. We have a part-time writing specialist that students can meet with and get help with really anything writing related. It could be papers for classes, it could be if they want some help getting started on their resume before they take it to the Career Center, those kinds of things we can also help with. We work with the Learning Commons on campus to give our students some extra sessions and extra subjects if needed. And our program covers those costs for students. We do a variety of different writing, academic, and support type workshops throughout the semester that are focused on topics that are of interest to students and kind of help you to make that transition to college. So for our program, students do have to apply. The application is available online. So our website, the www.csustan.edu/SSS will get you there, and you just go under application and eligibility, and it details everything there. All of our programming, we transitioned to remote, but we're still there. So all of our staff is meeting with students by phone, by Zoom, by email. So whatever kind of platform works best is for the student is what we're able to do. And so our focus is on making sure that students have answers to questions they need. And similarly, as students start to apply for the program, then we're there to help and answer questions that you may have. So you can always start on our website, but you can email us, you can call us, and I've kind of put that contact information on my background. So we are happy to help. Our whole application process can be completed electronically now, which I'm so excited about. But we do also do regular mail if that's what people are more comfortable with.
Juanita, you kind of touched upon the very first question that we got for you, which is from a student asking how can they participate in SSS? And the second part was if there's a deadline to apply.
So we don't have a hard deadline to apply, but we are a grant-funded program and we are funded to serve a certain number of students, which is 250. Right now, we're not at that number, which means that we will continue to take applications until our program hits capacity. So you don't have a hard set deadline, but sooner is better than later. And there is an application and there is a process to that, but it's not overly complicated, and we can help you through that.
Thank you. Another question that we got through the chat is for TRIO, does that include the Stockton campus?
We are not limited by physical location in terms of students that we can take into the program. So students who are primarily taking classes in Stockton, as well as students who are taking classes primarily in Turlock, are all eligible. We don't factor that in when we accept students into the program.
Wonderful, thank you. We're going to go to now with our next speaker, who is Libby Patel, who is joining us from EOP and Promise Scholars.
Good evening, everybody. As Miguel introduced, my name is Libby, and I'm a EOP advisor, the Educational Opportunity Program for the College of Science of College of Business. Within EOP, we represent and provide academic admission and support services to historically underserved students throughout California. Part of those underserved students are first-gen, historically low-income, educationally disadvantaged students, which can also include students coming from the foster youth services and homeless services. We have a support program or a sister program within EOP called Promise Scholars that is the academic support for our former foster youth and homeless students. Within EOP, we provide a one-on-one professional advisor to your students. They're responsible for providing educational guidance and assistance for students by planning their schedules out, recommending courses, determining appropriate educational solutions for all of our students. We do major exploration, general education advising. We are reachable and have been since March through Zoom, through emails, by phone. We have an amazing EOP chat that is open Monday through Friday that students can just log on and ask questions really easily without having to sit face-to-face through a Zoom appointment with us. Our program also offers peer mentors, very much like the TRIO program that is made up of juniors and seniors on campus to provide role model support, empower, and guide your freshmen throughout their first year. We also have a summer bridge program, which is designed to assist new students make that transformation from high school into college. And right now it's something new, and we're all testing new waters right now. So if your students are getting emails from the EOP program, the Educational Opportunity Program, those are our people, those are my people. If they have questions, just have them reach out. We're all reachable. Have a great night.
Thank you, Libby. We just got a question coming in through the chat, and it's for you regarding Promise Scholars. The question is, do incoming students within the Promise Scholar program get support applying for financial aid and selecting their classes during the first semester?
Yes. So for our Promise Scholars program, as EOP, you're with us for 4 years or 5 years or however long it takes you to navigate your degree. So we will do our best to help you fill out the FAFSA, any Chafee grants, applications that you have, and we will academically support you and holistically support you for as long as that you're a warrior.
Thank you so much, Libby. That's great to know. We're now going to move on with our next guest, whose name is Marvin Williams, who's going to share some information with you regarding the Disability Resource Services.
Hi, everyone. As Miguel said, my name is Marvin Williams, and I'm the Director of Disability Resource Services at Stanislaus State. Disability Resource Services is the accommodation arm of the university. So if you are a student who may be at a community college or previous institution used a DSPS or Disabled Student Program Services program, then we would be like them. If you have a student who's coming in from K-12 and perhaps they have or had an IEP or a 504 plan, then we would again be the group that you would work with for that. If you're coming in from K-12, the laws regarding accommodation and regarding how students are treated with getting assistance for going through school are a little bit different. So just because you have the IEP doesn't mean that everything in the IEP would be transferred over to college. They don't transfer like that. What we do is we'll meet with your student and decide if we've got sufficient information from the paperwork that you're able to give us. And if we don't have sufficient, we've got additional information to where we can ask for supporting documentation from a doctor or mental health clinician, depending on what the disability is. Once we have that, then we're able to meet with your student and discuss accommodations and see how things go. The accommodation process is an ongoing process, so it's not something that just ends because the meeting is over. It continues, and the students can always come back if they've got questions about their accommodations or they need changes. We can do that at any time. So we're not physically on campus, but we are still helping students get their accommodations remotely. We're still meeting with students remotely, and again, we can do that via telephone. We can do that via Zoom. We can do that via Skype. We can do just about any way to meet except for carrier pigeon, because we haven't figured that one out yet. But we're here to be able to work with you, to be able to work with students to make sure that they get their accommodation needs met.
Thank you, Marvin. We did get a question for you from a parent asking, my son had disability services in high school. Will they automatically have the same services in college?
No, they won't. Just because, and that kind of gets to what I talked about with the IEP or a 504 that you might have had in high school. That doesn't transfer over. What you would have to do is, what I would recommend is bring the paperwork that you had with that. We might need additional paperwork. The IEP or a 504 is typically not the diagnosing document that we would need, so we would need to be able to get that. Sometimes it contains it, sometimes it doesn't. So we can work with you and you're a student on that, and then we'll take a look at what accommodations might be possible for your student during their college career.
Thank you. We did get a question in the chat asking, does this disabled program include vets in vocational rehab?
Absolutely. So as long as you have a documented disability and you sign up with our program, then you can work with us. We work with, as Juanita had said before, that TRIO will take students who have a documented disability. We have students who are registered with my office that also work with TRIO. So again, if you need accommodations from the university, then my office is the office that you would go through. So if you do need accommodations, then you need to give us a call.
Thank you. You kind of touched on the last question from a student that was asking how do they get accommodations, but I think you already covered it.
Okay. And again, all they have to do is just make sure that they're registered with us and that we've got the appropriate paperwork, and we can help out with that.
Thank you so much, Marvin. Going on to our next guest, Mary Ward, who's joining us from the Health Center.
Hi, my name is Mary, and I'm an administrative analyst at the Student Health Center. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the Student Health Center services and how we are here to benefit your student in their education journey. First of all, the Student Health Center is open, serving the students via telemedicine appointments and some in-person acute non-respiratory appointments. We are open Monday to Friday, year-round, and closed on weekends and campus holidays. We are open. We are still currently open. Due to COVID-19, we ask that any student seeking health center services call before coming into the health center. If a student needs a telemedicine appointment, the front desk will ask a few brief questions and forward the information to a provider who will call the student back. We have a staff of 5 providers, including a physician, 2 nurse practitioners, and 2 physician assistants. That's in addition to registered nurses, medical assistants, clinical lab scientists, pharmacists, and administrative staff. Our medical services include primary medical care, women's health care, men's health care, preventive health care, mental health consultations, and other illness and injuries, to name a few. All students who have paid the health services fee are eligible for health center services. However, please be aware that the mandatory health services fee is not a supplemental insurance plan or supplemental health coverage. If a student needs to be seen by a specialist or requires treatment beyond the capabilities of our health center, we will refer them out to someone within their insurance plan. Furthermore, we do not accept nor bill the insurance. Students are not charged a copay for appointments, except for in case of certain physicals. And some services like basic x-rays and certain lab tests are free. Our pharmacy is also open. We have over-the-counter medications and prescription medications. A full list of available OTC meds is available on our website with pricing. We try very hard to keep the cost as low as possible for our students. Prescriptions from our providers can be filled at the health center, or students may fill them through their insurance at an outside pharmacy. But again, students are requested to please call the pharmacy before arriving to ensure that the medications they are picking up are ready when they arrive. Additionally, we recommend that students with pre-existing conditions may want to consider making an appointment with a provider to advise them of their health issues, particularly if students are living on campus or from out of the area. By meeting with the provider, the provider will already have a medical history should the student have an issue or concern and needs an appointment promptly. Finally, while our in-house lab is closed, if the provider believes that a student needs laboratory work done, the student will be referred out to a local contractor lab to have the lab work done with results returned to the provider. Any fees for the lab work will be charged at the health center rate to the student's account. So this is just a brief overview of what we do. I encourage you to check out our website for more information. But just to reiterate, we are open and working, albeit in a different format. But we are working hard to ensure that your student has access to any health center services they will need during their time at Stan State.
Thank you, Mary. We got a question for you. It was just one word. They asked immunizations. Do you have any info on that?
We do well, it depends if they're talking about immunizations for themselves or immunizations to fill the requirement.
I think it was from a parent or student asking what type of immunizations they need to provide to the health center in order to matriculate.
Okay. So currently, if they're over the age of 18 or over the age of 19 at the time of enrollment, they need 2 MMRs, which is measles, mumps, and rubella. If they're under the age 18 or under, they're going to also need to provide proof of 3 hepatitis B shots, immunizations.
Okay. And we got a question asking if a student will have access to the health center while they're remotely.
Yes, we're actually open physically, but also just call and there's a telemedicine. Appointments can be made.
Wonderful. And then one last question that we got was asking if a student can get tested for COVID-19 at the health center.
No, we are not currently testing for COVID-19.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mary. I really appreciate it. Now we're going to go to our next speaker, Sarah Rhodes, who is going to be joining us from the Campus Recreation Center.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sarah Rhodes, and I work for Campus Recreation, and I'm specifically housed at the Student Recreation Complex. I am the Member Services and Business Operations Specialist. For the fall semester, we're dedicated to serving our students to the best of our ability via different social media platforms. We offer live Group X virtual courses via Zoom. We have 8 Group X classes throughout the week. Classes start as early as 7 a.m. through 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. We have cross training, we have total body conditioning, we have Zumba. Everything is available to view online. On top of offering our live classes in the fall, we will post workout videos on YouTube, which is like a podcast format. These videos will go over proper forms for specific workouts, whether it's how to squat properly, how to deadlift, a perfect push-up, etc. We have a wilderness adventure program, which we will teach our students how to set up tents. We have wilderness books. We will give them encouragement and specific hikes that they may be interested in. We also offer one-on-one coaching, which is a personal training program at no cost for students in the fall. We have a great intramural sports program, which is offered virtually at this time. It is through EA Sports, so that's going to be with Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, where students can compete against each other and earn prizes that will be mailed to them. We are also going to offer trivia games and other sports-related trivia. Once we're able to have in-person classes, we also offer employment for students. They can apply to be fitness trainers, intramural sports referees, lifeguards if certified. We also have facility maintenance student assistants and facility operations student assistants. You can visit our website through CSU-STAN/campus recreation. We also have a variety of social media pages such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and we are constantly keeping everything up to date there. We also offer office hours through Zoom, Monday through Friday from 10 to 2. If you or your student should have any questions, feel free to just log in. It's also available on our campus recreation website. We are student funded, and we pride ourselves in giving our students the best experience that we possibly can. We're determined to offer them a variety of virtual options, either Zoom, email, YouTube podcast, Instagram Live, etc. We are also welcome to any feedback throughout the semester to make sure that we're serving our students to the best of our ability. And our email address is campus-recreation@csustan.edu.
Thank you. We received a question asking if will the gym be open during the fall semester?
At this time, no, we will not be open during the fall semester. No, not at this time.
Thank you so much for clarifying. But as she mentioned, they will be offering support services online, so you can still access a gym-like experience.
Yes, absolutely. We will have live classes, and we also have Instagram Live where you can answer questions with nutrition or specific workouts, and we'll also have pre-recorded videos on YouTube.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Now we're going to have Susan from the Psychological Counseling Services join us and speak a little bit about the services that they offer to our students. Susan?
Thanks, Miguel. I was muted. I forgot. I'm Susan Brum, and I'm one of the mental health counselors at Psychological Counseling Services, which is Stan State's counseling clinic. Historically, mental health has been stigmatized. We use labels like crazy or needy to talk about people who go to counseling. But that's really unfair because mental health is just as important as physical health. Mental health is our emotional, psychological, and social well-being, and it affects our physical health. It affects our relationships, our academic and job performance, our motivation, the choices we make, and how we handle stress. And in coming to university, students are taking on a lot of new stressors, the demanding classes, especially now being online, adjusting to technology. And then on top of that, everything going on in our world with COVID-19 and the restrictions, economic difficulties, racial tension, political divisiveness. We are all being affected to varying degrees by stress, grief, trauma, and loss. So we are here, Psychological Counseling Services, to help students have a really good experience at Stan State. We offer counseling free to enrolled students, so there's no additional cost for our services. We're all licensed counselors, and we provide individual couple counseling if both partners are Stan State students. We offer group counseling and workshops. To make an appointment, you call our office at 667-3381. Right now, we're doing all of our appointments either by Zoom Health video or by telephone, depending on what students prefer. During the summer, our hours are 7:30 to 4, and then our regular semester hours are 8 to 5. And so appointments can be made during that time. Plus, from 10 to 2 every day, we have walk-in crisis time. We also offer an after-hours service. You call the same number, 667-3381, and you'll be prompted to press 2, and that will connect you with a live licensed counselor who can help in a crisis situation, do some brief solution-focused therapy. And you can check out our website, which is csustan.edu/counseling for the same information I've given you, more information, and then also resources that are available. On the website also, you'll be able to see the workshops that we're offering this fall. So examples of issues that students come in for, things like stress, relationships, anxiety, depression, academic concerns, illness, disabilities, self-esteem, confidence, suicidality. There's just a wide range of reasons students come to see us. So I encourage you to take care of your mental health when you're at Stan State and utilize their supports if you need them.
Thank you so much for that information. We did get a question asking if students are limited to the number of sessions they can have with the counselor.
No, at this time, we're very fortunate that we do not have limits on sessions. So it's a clinical decision made between the counselor and the client.
That's fantastic. Great service. The next question that we received for you is, are there support groups available and how could I join one?
Yes, this semester, fall semester, we're doing several support groups. We have a support group for women of color called Her Story. We have a support group for depression. We have a support group for LGBTQ+, and we have a support group called Body Positive Warriors, which deals with body image, confidence, self-acceptance, and eating disorders, although it's not treatment. So I need to make a distinction there, but it can be good support.
Thank you for that great information. I really appreciate it. I'm sure parents do as well. Our next speaker is Erlyn Johnson, who is going to speak to you all about the Learning Commons.
Thanks, Miguel. Good evening, everyone. I'm Erlyn Johnson with the Learning Commons. The Learning Commons is a free academic support for your Stan State student. The programs that we have in our department are the Tutoring Center, the Writing Center, Supplemental Instruction, and Testing Services. In the Tutoring and Writing Centers, we offer both individual and group tutoring sessions. So that's for both course content and then writing support in most subjects. And those appointments can be made for either a one-time session or a weekly recurring session. We also have our Supplemental Instruction program, which is in selected historically difficult courses. So some of our big ones are like biology and chemistry. You can check out our website for a full listing of the courses that we have SI in. Our testing services is here. It's a little different being remote, but we're here to answer your students' questions about program-specific exams and how to register for those exams. The one exam that we do currently offer remotely is the ATI or TEAS exam, which is the nursing admissions exam. And again, our testing website has a full schedule of those testing dates. We aren't meeting on campus to meet with our students. However, your student can access tutoring and supplemental instruction and the ATI exam online. The tutoring sessions and the supplemental instruction sessions are online through Zoom. We do have a great scheduling system called Stan Tutor, where students can make those appointments and get into their SI sessions. And that Stan Tutor link is right on the front page of our Learning Commons website. You can access our Learning Commons website. It's www.csustan.edu/learningcommons. Now more than ever, we are encouraging students to use our programs as they venture out onto the online classes. Our tutors and SI leaders, they're current Stan State students, so they're going through the same situation that your student is going through and have already had a little bit of experience going through it on our campus, but they are committed to helping your student. These tutors and SI leaders, they go through hours of training, not to mention they are caring and encouraging individuals who want to see your student do well in their courses. We are also available to take any questions by phone or email, or you can visit our website. We're also available on Instagram and Facebook, and coming soon, hopefully we'll have a chat program similar to what Libby had mentioned for EOP. And we just look forward to working with your student this fall.
Great information, Erlyn. Thank you so much. We did get some questions for you. One of them is tutoring going to be on campus or online?
It will be all online. So it is available online. Like I said, the sessions will be through Zoom, and students can still make those appointments through Stand Tutor.
The next question is, how do I request tutoring?
That's through our Stand Tutor link. It's an online scheduling system. So students can access that link both off of our front page of our website, and then the link is also on the student dashboard. So it is called Stand Tutor.
Okay. We have two more questions for you. One of them is, I worked as a Spanish tutor at MJC. Could I apply to work as a Spanish tutor at CSU Stanislaus?
Absolutely. We do have our tutor positions currently open for recruitment. So I believe you can even access through the Career Center on Handshake, and then also through the website, HR website at Stan State.
And the final question, will computer rooms and the library be open in the fall?
I do not have the answer for that. While we are housed in the library, I don't have the answer for whether the computer labs, we are not linked with that. I believe that would be a library question, and I apologize, I don't have the answer for that.
It's okay, thank you. We'll provide links afterwards for students to find that answer somewhere else. Thank you, Erlyn. Our next guest is Jen, who's joining us from the Basic Needs Initiative.
Hello and welcome, Stan State families. I'm Jen Sturdivant, the care manager for the Basic Needs programs at Stanislaus State. Tonight, I'll be sharing information about the free basic needs support services that are available to your student. The basic needs programs are designed to provide support to students with food and housing security needs, or with financial assistance in emergency situations. For example, your student can visit the Warrior Food Pantry on campus once a week and receive a bag of canned goods, refrigerated or frozen items, and toiletries at no cost. And on the background of my screen, you can see a picture of the food pantry that has some items in there that are available and free for your students. And we currently the pantry is open Monday through Friday, 10 to 2, and is available for your student to come and pick up their pre-packed bag. And all they'll need to do is bring their Warrior ID card or their Warrior ID number if they haven't yet received their Warrior ID card. We also have a supplemental program that your student can receive a free box of food once a month that contains enough food for 3 days worth of meals. And that is also an in-person service that we would do a curbside distribution, so that they would just drive up, walk up. Access does remain available with social distancing measures in place. And we also help students and families apply for CalFresh benefits, and if eligible, individuals and families can receive monthly financial assistance to purchase groceries. That application process can all be done virtually, by phone, or on a Zoom meeting with a basic needs coordinator. And then in addition, we also have, for emergency situations or personal crisis, we also have the Campus Cares program that provides financial assistance to eligible students, and the student is not expected to pay that grant, the emergency grant, back. To learn more about these programs, I encourage you to visit the Basic Needs website, which is csustan.edu/basic needs. Follow us on our social media, or you can sign up to receive text message alerts with basic needs information. And that the text message program can also be found on our website. So we look forward to connecting your student with resources and helping them achieve their educational goals.
That's great. Thank you for sharing all that information. We did get a question. A parent is wondering if their student can get food even though the classes will be offered online.
Yes, the student can come in now even and get food Monday through Friday, 10 to 2, and we will have our fall hours posted, and that is an in-person service that is available.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Our next guest is Carolina Alfaro, who will be talking to you all a bit more about the Warrior Cross Cultural Center.
Hi, yes, good evening. I'm Carolina Alfaro, and I'm with the Warrior Cross Cultural Center on campus. The Warrior Cross Cultural Center is an all-inclusive, brave, and safe space for students, staff, and faculty. We are home to all-inclusive resources. We offer workshops, activities. We offer a conference space and a social justice library that helps empower students outside of the classroom. We are also home to the Undocumented Student Services Office. We offer free legal services regardless of status, even for students who come from mixed status families. Sometimes they may be documented, but their parents are not. We offer those services to them as well. We are also home to the new Male Success Initiative, the MSI program, which is going to be a program for students who identify as male. This program will support students via mentorship opportunities, academic achievement support, leadership development, and empowerment. And so we're excited to welcome you this fall. We'll be operating virtually and remotely, and you can follow us on Instagram at Stan State DC. That's D as in diversity and C as in center. We're in the process of changing that to Warrior Cross Cultural Center, but we welcome you to join us. Thank you.
We got a question for you, Carolina, but I think you already kind of answered. I want to ask it anyway in case you want to elaborate. And they are, do the undocumented or immigration legal services extend to the family of the student too, or just the student?
Correct. We actually offer services for students and their families. Many students, again, come from mixed status families, and so we want to ensure that the services are available to the entire family. Sometimes you're not able to talk about one case without it affecting the other person that's involved.
Thank you for clarifying that. Our next guest is Evelyn Ramos, who is joining us from the Career and Professional Development Center.
Hi everyone, my name is Evelyn Ramos. I am the Associate Director for the Career and Professional Development Center. We can support your students with any and everything related to jobs and career development. We encourage students to connect with us early, whether it's to build a resume for a part-time job or to explore how majors are connected to careers. It's 100% okay if your student doesn't know what they want to do yet. That's why we're here to help them do that. We provide live virtual workshops as well as career counseling appointments with our career coaches. We host employer connection events every semester, as well as networking opportunities with alumni and professionals in a variety of industries. Students will soon be receiving an email describing a program accessible to all STAN students called Career Ready U. We encourage all students to sign up for this program, as the goals of the program are to help students graduate career ready and really confident in getting that first professional role after graduation. Connect with us online through our website, social media channels to learn about our upcoming workshops and employer connection events. Bottom line is, it's never too early to connect with Career Services Center, especially if you expect your child to get a job after they leave college.
And that's what the next question is about. A parent is asking, what support will their student have to get a job after they graduate?
Well, students can definitely utilize our services after graduation for about 2 years, but we heavily encourage students to start with us early, especially if you want to work right away, because the job search itself for a professional job can take anywhere from 6 to 9 months, potentially more, depending on the industry. So it's very important to start thinking about the resume, the interview, building a network. Those are not things you can easily do in 2 weeks. So it's really important to connect early, but that's why we're here. We're here to help with resume development, just exploring what opportunities are there, whether they want to stay here locally or whether they want to go home, if they're studying from outside of the area. That's why we're here to provide that support with our career coaches as well as our educational coaches.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. Our next guest is Katie, who is joining us from Housing and Residential Life.
Hi, everyone. My name is Katie Billiot, and I am the Communications and Occupancy Management Specialist for Housing and Residential Life on Campus Living. We hope to be your students' home away from home during the academic year. And although many of our staff are working remotely, housing is still physically open. Our office is open, and we do have students living on campus. And all of our regular support services are also still available. So that includes academic advising, financial advising, virtual activities and workshops, assistance connecting with faculty or campus resources, as well as peer mentorship to really help your students succeed in this new online format. While we're expecting to have to reduce our fall population due to COVID-19, we are hoping to house around 300 residents on campus in the fall. We've proposed to have every student live in a single bedroom so that there are no shared bedrooms. So every resident has their own safe space. And we hope to have this approved, fingers crossed, this week or next week by the Chancellor's office here soon. So I want to quickly plug in our COVID-19 FAQ page, which is on the housing website, www.csustan.edu/housing. There you can find the most up-to-date information about our plans for the fall as we announce it. And if your student has already applied to live on campus, please advise them to continue to check their Stan State email, because we've been sending a lot of updates and will continue to send updates as we have our operations plan moving forward.
Thank you, Katie. We did receive quite a few questions for you, actually. So the first one is, when will my student know if they can live on campus for the fall semester?
We're hoping to know our operations plan here in the next week to two. I'm hoping once the Chancellor's office approves our operations plan. And as soon as we have that, we'll be sending out correspondence to all the students who have applied already to live on campus.
Okay. Next question. If you already paid for the dorms, but don't want to live there anymore, where can I get my, where does the money go? Do we get any of it back, or does it go towards tuition?
If you've changed your mind, you can cancel your housing application and you can receive a refund. I would advise you to reach out to our student accounts specialist. You can contact her by visiting our staff directory page if you have any specific questions, and she can tell you exactly where to go and what to do. But you can get a refund. Thank you.
A student is asking, opposite to that question is, how could they apply to live on campus?
Okay, so if you go on our website, there is a button right on the home page that says apply today, and it takes you directly to our housing portal, and you can apply to live on campus. And you can also apply just for spring semester only, as well as the full academic year.
Okay, so a student is asking, do we still apply for on-campus housing in the fall semester if we're going online?
Yes, we will still be open in the fall, so if you're interested in living on campus, you can still apply.
Okay. Another question that we received through our website is, when will we get confirmation of how many students will be able to live on campus, and when will we receive that approval and payment due? And the second part to that question is, and when will the first day move in? When will they move in on campus?
Right. So as soon as our operations plan has been confirmed and approved by the Chancellor's office, again, hopefully in the next 7 to 10 days, we'll be notifying all of our applicants of what's going on, how many people will be allowed to live on campus, as well as when first payments are due. Typically, it's 30 days before move-in, which is typically the Friday before classes start, which would be August 21st, I believe. Move-in will likely be an entire week this year because we want to make sure that everyone is social distancing and being safe.
A question that we got is from a student that's wondering, how will living on campus look like? How would campus life look like?
So a lot of it is going to be the same, just virtual, very similar to normal campus life. Again, we're still going to offer a lot of the same services. We'll have virtual activities. We'll have virtual socials. You can still have your academic advising, still have access to all of the staff. We will still have resident advisors and peer academic leaders living on campus to assist. We will have safety guidelines obviously implemented, and the Village Cafe will still be open for to-go orders, so there will still be food available when you live on campus also as well.
We received 2 questions from the chat, and the first one is, if the spring semester is in person, do we have to apply for on-campus housing now? What will happen if we sign up and then classes go online in the spring?
So we don't have a hard deadline set for spring applications only yet. I would say if you think you would be interested in living on campus in the spring, then you can go ahead and apply today, and then you can always cancel at any time.
The last question that we have for you, Katie, is do we have to apply for the full 2020-2021 year still? And would we have to pay for the fall semester even though it's online?
Yes, so you do still need to pay for the fall if you are eligible to live on campus. It will be a discounted rate. We're hoping to have one flat rate for the entire village, obviously discounted because it's just different. And then we will have a discounted meal plan, we're hoping as well, sort of a lower option. But again, that is determined by how many places to eat will be open on campus. But again, at this time, we know that the Village Cafe will be open. So we'll be releasing all that information hopefully here in the next 7 to 10 days once we have our plan approved.
Thank you so much, Katie. You answered so many questions from many people. Going on to our next guest, we have one more question for you, Katie, before we go on to the next person. If my daughter has her deposit in for spring, is she guaranteed a room in the spring?
If she's already turned in a deposit, right now I would say we are not guaranteeing anything. But if she's already turned in a deposit for spring, she will definitely be at the front of the pack, if that makes sense, because typically residents are placed on a first come, first served basis.
And then if she were, this is my follow-up to that question. So if the student were to not get a space, would that deposit be refunded?
Yes, that would be refunded with the exception of the $40 application fee.
Thank you so much for all that wonderful information, Katie. I'm sure that parents and families and students are going to benefit greatly from all the information you shared about housing and residential life. Our next guest is Landy Gonzalez Hernandez. She's joining us from Financial Aid.
Hello, everybody. My name is Landy Gonzalez Hernandez, and I'm a financial aid advisor here at the university, and I also coordinate the financial wellness program. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, Landy. So we received a few questions for you. The first question is, how do we begin the student loan process?
That's a great question, Miguel. Thank you. You actually have to fill out the federal application, the FAFSA, in order to begin the process to receive a loan. And this is for both the student loans and the parent loans. They both need to be awarded, and the whole process starts with that application.
All right. The next question is, how would the federal work-study program operate while classes are fully remote?
Yeah, so the federal work-study program, it all depends on the needs of the department, really. If the department still requires, assistance during, even though we're not open to the public per se, if they still require assistance, they will be posting jobs, and that's going to happen sometime around August 2nd. However, if there is a change to the program in any way, the students will receive an email letting them know of any changes to the program or if it's been pushed back to the spring semester. So as of now, just keep an eye out for the job board, which will open August 2nd. I do encourage you to reach out to the Career Center if you have never done a resume or a cover letter. That way you can get all of that started before the application process begins.
Thank you, Landy. The next question is asking about the turnaround time for emails and phone calls. Typically, how long does it take for students to hear back from you or one of your colleagues?
Right now it is taking a little bit longer because we are, this is our busiest time. So right now we're getting hundreds of emails. We are on phones Monday through Thursday from 9 to 4 p.m. And then we also have a bit of advising. If you need to get a hold of somebody, you can also make an appointment with an advisor by going to our website. at CSU Stan Financial Aid. And then for emails, it is taking a few days, only because we are getting, like I said, hundreds of emails coming in right now. So the turnaround time is a little longer than typical.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that, Landy. So students can expect a response, maybe not an immediate response, but you guys are getting to them as quickly as humanly possible.
We are,
and
yes.
I'm sure, yeah, thank you so much. The next question is coming from a parent who's asking, my child applied for FAFSA, they registered for classes, but it doesn't show that they owe anything. Does that mean that FAFSA already paid for tuition?
Not necessarily. So the day that you register for your classes, the dues do not show up until the following day. So even though you don't see anything yet, it may be that it hasn't been posted to your account just yet. So you do want to give it 24 hours before it will show up. Once it does show up, what I do encourage you to do is to go to your My CSU Stan under your Student Center, click on Account Inquiry, and then that'll show you the difference between what you owe and what you have available in financial aid. That way, if there's any overages or like that you need to pay out of pocket, it'll show you exactly that dollar amount. So yes, that first day that you register is not going to show up until the following day. And this always happens every semester.
Good to know. Our next question, Landy, is how do I use my financial aid to pay for money that is said to be due now on my Student Center?
Yeah, so we actually disperse 10 days before school starts, which means that if school starts on August 24th, we're going to be dispersing on the 14th. So that means that even though right now your tuition is still showing up as due, and you're getting those emails that say that your tuition is due, if you have enough pending financial aid that is ready to disperse on August 14th, you basically just wait for that to happen. And this is for every term, we always disperse 10 days before school starts. So as long as you have enough pending aid in order to cover your tuition, you should be okay.
Next question is, what happens to students who have not been awarded financial aid?
It could be a couple things. So if you had some to-do list items that you have submitted, we are processing them as fast as we can. So as soon as we process them, we'll go ahead and award you, if after the processing period is done. However, if you have submitted your FAFSA or your CADA application and you have not heard back from us and it's been a while, you need to reach out. Some students either forgot to put their social or their name wrong on the application to the university, so it prevents the FAFSA application from actually coming into the office. So that means that you do need to reach out so that we can figure out whether it's stuck in suspense, meaning that it can't be loaded in because your information doesn't match, or maybe you didn't add our school code, or it could be like a myriad of other things. So if you have submitted documents and you're basically just waiting to be awarded, perfect, just wait to be awarded. If you haven't heard from us and you did submit an application, please reach out to the office. We can go with that.
Thank you, Landy. Are you ready for the last question?
I am.
The last question that we're going to ask today during the live stream is, I haven't received any of my Cal Grants or FAFSA or any type of fund to help me pay for tuition. What should I do?
Yeah, just like in that last question, how come I haven't received anything? If you have not heard back from us, I encourage you to reach out and then to give us a call, to send us an email, or make an appointment with an advisor so that we can take a look. One thing I do want to say about Cal Grant is if you're a transfer student or you didn't add our school as your school of choice when you first decided to come to STAN, you do need to go back to the Web Grants for Students application with the California Student Commission, and you need to add Stan State as your school of choice so that way we can receive your Cal Grant. If your FAFSA doesn't have our school code, same thing. You need to make sure to add our school code, which is 001157, and that's what you can come to.
All right, well, thank you so much, Landy. Just so you know, we received a lot more questions than we had space to answer live on air today. So if anybody who still has some questions about financial aid, please check out our other video on financial aid. Landy spent a whole hour with us answering some really great questions. And to everyone else, if you found this video helpful, if you liked it, please hit that like and subscribe button and we'll see you during our next live stream. Thank you so much.